Hey, Tyler Hurst from On a Roll here. So it's been a while since I've been able to actually do these. This is the RPG a day. So I thought I'd catch up and I'll do another video tomorrow. I like doing these in clusters because the topics don't really take very long. So we're gonna go from the 9th to the 16th. It's been a while, like I said. So number 9. What is a good RPG to play for about 10 sessions? Well, really, in the experience I've had with RPG so far, I feel like any RPG would be good in 10 sessions. I feel like role-playing games are designed for that specific reason, to be able to be role-played, to be able to be played out, play a character out for a specific amount of time, for an extended amount of time. I can think of maybe one system where I think extended gameplay might not be very good, and that's Fate, simply because there is no character progression really in the game, at least as far as I've seen. I mean, I don't claim to be a Fate expert. I just haven't seen very much about what might make it into something desirable to play for longer than maybe 2 or 3 sessions in a row for the same thing. Where do you go for RPG reviews? To the people I trust. I go to Absolute Tabletop, or I Facebook message one of my friends from that group, and I ask them if they've played it. I ask them what they think about the game. I ask them, et cetera, et cetera. I just get firsthand opinions about it because these are people who I play with and have the same interests as me. So I trust them more than some anonymous person on a website. That's just me. Which dead game would you like to see reborn? Dead game. I'm relatively new to the hobby. I've only been playing for about maybe 2.5 years. So I don't think that there is really a dead game that I know about or that I've played that I'd like to see reborn. I mean, 5e's booming, so I mean, I don't think that's dead. I don't see a lot of FFG run Star Wars, so I'd like to see that run more. I think honestly, more than anything, rather than see something reborn, I'd like to try new stuff. Honestly, I think that exposing yourself to new RPGs is it's what broadens your perspective for when you play your own games and run stuff and systems you enjoy. So that's what I'd like to see more of is games that I have not seen run. Which RPG has the most inspiring interior art? So this is number 12. Most inspiring interior art. I found. Jeez. I'm just trying to think about all the RPGs that I've seen the inside of. Star Wars has some pretty good interior art. I love the interior art on for Force and Destiny on the Crate Dragon. I think that's super cool. Some of the pictures of firefights and like other scenes. I mean, like it's really telling. I think that Iron Kingdoms has some really, really cool interior art as well. Just super inspiring stuff. I mean, the Warjacks, you've got I can't remember what they're called. I mean, I've only played a couple times or read through it once. They're like Arcanus or something like that. The people who use like the arcane blades or whatever. I mean, just some of the art for Iron Kingdoms is really cool. I mean, obviously, I'm a huge fan of D&D, so I love D&D interior art. But again, I think I just need. Oh, Symbaroum has some awesome interior art. I love Symbaroum art. Honestly, I think that's how I'd have to go with is Symbaroum. Just lots of the art for that book is very evocative. It makes you really think and like consider what this might be. I mean, from the witches to their like troll mounts to I mean, the queen and her retinue. I mean, it's really, really, really cool. I actually have to go with Symbaroum. I think its interior art is amazing. Okay, number 13. Describe a game experience that changed how you play. I think for a game that I've played in, or that so let's go with one that I ran first. I think a game that I ran that changed my perspective of how I play would be my third game I ran in my Providence setting, my Western setting, where basically the characters were so clever with coming up with ways around like trials I put before them that I couldn't say no. There was no way. For me, it kind of really demonstrated it really taught me the principle of yes, but. Like, you tell them yes, they could try it, but here's the consequence and the difficulty in doing so. Um, I think that was a really good session for me to learn as a GM that like saying yes to requests that make your encounters easier is okay. Like that is like a good thing. Um, as for a session that I played in that really changed the way that I run games or the way that I play, I guess I would have to say I had the opportunity of playing in one of Rob Coletta's game on his channel, Performance Check. It was called Shadow Under Lockdown. It was about this massive like super prison called Carcer Lock, and our characters were basically breaking into it to assassinate this dude with information. But I mean, it was really good. I mean, and again, it was kind of that experience of open-ended gameplay. If we could think of a solution to a problem, we could do it. Now, at the same time, a lot of us weren't exactly on the same page with how we wanted to solve problems, but I mean, it still worked. It was a really good game, really good players, really good RP. The fight at the end was really good. It was just, and then the twist at the end too for our characters was really good too. It was just, and it was well paced. I think it showed me like why saying yes is good and why making a super open-ended session is good too. Why you can build a simple structure and let your players play within the structure. And it really changed my perspective on how I should prep games. I think was that's probably one of the good ones that taught me, or that changed how I play a bit. Which RPG do you prefer for open-ended campaign play? I mean, I've only ever run campaigns with D&D 5e. I've run 2 home campaigns. I've run 3 or 4 online campaigns. I've got a bunch of different campaigns in the works. I think D&D is a great system to run campaigns in. That being said, out of the RPGs I own, I would really love to run a Mistborn campaign using the Mistborn RPG. I think that'd be really fun for a long extended campaign. It takes that into account too, like extended periods of time where like nothing's happening. And I think that calls those, is it rounds or bouts or something? But anyways, like there's like this super, you can like change the length of a round to fit your world. Like during that round, like say you make it like 3 years long, your players narrate what happened over those 3 years, and then they still roll to see how well they did in their preparations. So I think Mistborn would be a really good one for an extended campaign because you can take into account short time spans along with like really long time spans. And I don't really have for like D&D, like I don't really see the point in taking super long breaks in between adventures, though I'm going to try it with my home group soon. So, yeah. Which RPG do you enjoy adapting the most? I really do think that D&D is very open-ended. It's probably the RPG I know the most. Maybe that's why I'm saying it. But I feel like D&D is such an open-ended system with such open rules, really, that you can create your own stuff for it very, very easily. I think it's very conducive as well to making your own things for the system. I think the system itself excels at using those things that you make for it and just making it very simple for your players too. I mean, obviously, there's a certain amount of intuition that needs to go into making the stuff in your own, so it isn't too confusing. But I mean, with their open publication thing that they came out with, I mean, it's made it easier than ever to create stuff for the system. So I think that adapting it is the most available, and in my opinion, because I play it the most enjoyable. Which RPG do you enjoy using as is? I mean, I don't feel like any. Okay, so here's something that I might say is kind of controversial. I don't think any RPG is designed to be used entirely as is. I think that ruins the spirit of an RPG. I think an RPG is supposed to be run with the game with those rules in mind and with that story in line and like in mind and the ideas that help shape that story in mind. But I don't think you should hold to that entirely. For example, if I played D&D the way Gary Gygax originally made it, dungeon crawls, fantasy, fighting dragons, I mean, that sounds all super cool, but I would get super bored of it very quickly. I love a good medieval game every now and then. I love playing in my Western setting. I love playing in a gothic horror game every now and then. But I would not want to hold to just one setting the way that it's designed. I mean, the DMG opens it up a bit. It gives you rules for like firearms and like additional variant rules for the game to make it more interesting or to make it more deadly, etc. But it was designed originally just to be played as kind of like a medieval fantasy type game. I mean, that's where all the rules point towards. You've got armor rules, you've got medieval weapons. I mean, that's what everything points towards. And the same as can be said for other RPGs. I mean, now certain ones are set towards a genre rather than a setting. Like, for example, Fantasy Flight game Star Wars. It is designed to be played in the Star Wars universe, which is good. I mean, I understand that. But you could just as easily, they're building a generic one, which I'm super excited for, Genesis. But I feel like the spirit of the RPG isn't that you should only play it. Like, for example, if you only played Star Wars using the canonical stuff that you know, then it wouldn't be too exciting. Like, it would be like, oh, I know what's going to happen. Princess Leia is going to get attacked on the Tantive 5, on the Tantive 4, and then she's going to escape barely. That's not very exciting. Knowing what's going to happen isn't very exciting. It's when you start building your own worlds within the system that makes it exciting. So I don't think any RPG should be played as is. I think it should be played in a way that is designed and tailored specifically to each GM and group. That was number 16. Okay. So I'll do another one of these tomorrow. I don't really have time to record on the weekends unless I'm running a game at nights. So I'll just do like the weekend, including number 17. But yeah, so my name's Tyler Hurst. I'm from the channel On a Roll. If you like my videos, if you like what I'm talking about, please feel free to subscribe and like. I appreciate all the support. I appreciate you guys watching these. And as always, I hope you find yourselves in your games on a roll.